Good morning. We will get started with the Education Committee for the Kansas State Board of Nursing, starting the June 9th meeting. And we have already started with item 1. We do have a quorum present of 5 members. And we will call the meeting to order. I don't believe we have any announcements today.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. We do have an on-site packet, and that is on the website along with our other agenda items, and all of the packet information is online. So we will start with item number 3, petition summaries from 2/21/26 to 5/15/26. Janelle.
Madam Chair, can I ask
Yes.
to maybe make an addendum to the agenda?
Oh, yes, of course, Adrian.
Okay, I appreciate it. Adrian Guerrero, Director of Operations here at the board. We've noticed an interesting situation with our review for NCLEX retesting eligibility that I'd like to request that the Education Committee ask staff to do some research and bring it back to either the board or the next committee. So I guess the addendum to the agenda would be to discuss why that is. So you could do a review of NCLEX retesting eligibility.
Okay, so if we can add that for the next meeting, and in the meantime, the board staff, if you could provide that information to the next Education Committee and the board to review at the September meeting.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now to petition summary.
And just a note on the petition summary, for some reason it got printed twice. There are not 6 people. There should just be there. Those are both the same on pages 3 and 4. So just a heads up.
So there's 4 people requesting, or 3
Just
people
three,
requesting.
just three.
3, okay. Oh, and actually we need to take a step back. Committee members, you received an email from Janelle this morning with the motions. We do need to make a motion to approve the agenda as amended. My apologies.
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you, Angela.
I'll second. This is Patty.
Thank you, Patty. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Karen, were you opposing, or was that you raised your hand when I said, okay, you're in favor. Okay, any abstentions? Okay, the agenda is approved as amended. Okay, now on to the petition. Do we have any discussion or questions for Janelle?
No. Madam Chair, I move to recommend approval to the board of the petition to retest summary from 2/21/26 through 5/15/26.
Thank you, Patty.
Second, Ruth Burkhart.
Thank you, Ruth. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Abstentions. The motion carries. Okay. Next, we have on the agenda is our approval of the board or reapproval of the site visits. So we'll start with those, and I'm between 2 screens, so I'm going to get, click the wrong button. I believe it's on page 5 or 6. I'm getting there.
5.
Thank you. Okay, so WSU Tech, who is joining us, Janelle?
It should be Flora Diaz.
Okay, Colton, if you could add Flora. And the site visit was completed April 7th and 8th. Angela and Janelle completed it, and it's on pages 5 through getting to the last page with the strengths. 19. Okay, Flora, thank you for joining us this morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Committee, do you have any questions or comments for Flora? Flora, anything you'd like to share with us?
No, I mean, I think it went great. Janelle, Angela, I mean, we loved having you guys. It's always nervous, right? The build up, but it went great. I saw the recommendations. I'll get them over to you, Miss Janelle.
Very good.
Excellent. Any additional
this-
questions?
It was a great visit. It's with their expansion into the high school world and bringing that in. It was very interesting to discuss that and talk about how that's going to work too. So it's good to see all the space that they have and the plans for making all that work.
Yes, that's going to be a great addition working with Goddard. So excited for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I move to recommend approval to the board of the reapproved site visit report with recommendations for WSU Tech PN program and reapprove the program for 5 years.
Thank you, Patty.
Second. I'll second.
Thank you, Karen. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Oppose, abstentions. The motion carries. Thank you for joining
Thank
us,
you.
Flora. We appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, our next on the agenda is the Mid-America College of Health Science. That is actually part of the
That is the
on-site
on-site.
packet. Yes, so you will need to open the on-site packet for that one.
And just I'm sorry, Amy.
No,
Madam
go
Chair.
ahead.
I just wanted to let you know too, the report looks a little bit different because we have done the reapprovals and all of that. This was more of a focus visit. We were coming back at the behest of the board from the last visit. One of the recommendations was that we do a focus visit. We're very focused on the pass rates and the action plan that they had forwarded to us at the start of this. So the initial part of the report has the factors that they identified. And then there's a section that's additional factors or the ones that Debbie and I added to that. And then the standard kind of other things at the bottom are in terms of the recommendations are at the end.
Okay,
And I
and do we
believe
have someone?
I believe we have 3 people, Colton. And they may have their name there too, but it would be Dr. Susan Omari and Dr. White, Darmita White, and then Sue Watson, who's their program administrator.
Who was that first one again?
Susan Omari.
I found everyone else.
Okay, well,
It's under
Sue
Dr.
Watson,
Omari.
Dr. Omari.
Ah, give them just a moment.
Okay, thank you.
This is Dr. Darmita White. Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. We were having a difficult time trying to get on screen, so I apologize for that. So Dr. Amari may be having some difficulties, but I will allow Professor Watson to go speak on the behalf of the college. And I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, hello. Yes, I was worried I wasn't going to get on. I'm happy I'm here and happy to be with you guys. Thank you for having us. We did have our site visit. We enjoyed having Dr. Pyle and Mrs. Martin see our school and be with us. And we're already working at, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. And we did we already are working on our corrective action plan. And one of the things is targeting some of the things in that is to get a lot of measurable data. I think that was a big thing that we need to focus on, and we definitely will. We graduated 17 students in May, and that information wasn't there at that time when with the site visit. We weren't sure if all 17 were going to graduate, but they did. So we're waiting on them now. They're waiting on their test date. So everything right now, we're trying to be as much support as we can for them. We've left our, we have a course, the NCLEX prep course, PN 403. We left that open for them so they can go in and they can take the comprehensive test in there, do prep views. And they had gotten at the end of the year, the predictor for NCLEX. And so they can remediate on a lot of those areas that were weak. We're following up with that because we can tell who is going in using it, and we'll definitely call the ones that aren't and see what else we can do to encourage them. But we want to be with them every step of the way because we know our NCLEX is what we really want to see up there. Let's see, I think that another thing that we have took care of was having an an advisory board meeting. I'm so sorry. We have a cold going through the house here. But we had our advisory board meeting on the 19th, and we had a very good turnout. We had 6 community members coming from Shawnee Gardens, a lot of the facilities, some of our sponsors. So we'll have the minutes for you, but we felt like it was really productive. We sent them a whole packet, each one of them, of our whole program, so they understood, you know, and they were prepared as we had our meeting.
Excellent.
I don't know, did you have anything to add, Dr. White?
No, you just spoke to what I thought was one of the important factors of our post-visit. We most definitely are collecting the data. As Professor Watson said, we actually was able to get some information from our graduates to see one of the things, how long, at what point are you looking to take the NCLEX? Because that is something that I wanted to capture that information. So most of them are waiting a little bit of that time frame to make sure that they're going to utilize what we have to offer them. So within a 30-day window, most of them said they will be ready after doing the remediation, after utilizing the software, after utilizing our program services that we have and the resources. So that kind of gave us some information to kind of target it to ensure that we are tracking that data. But other than that, I think that's a huge part of understanding the program, understanding some of the things that could be causing our students to not do so well, test anxiety, financial issues, being not able to take off of work. So these are things that we're going to try to capture for the future.
Excellent. Any questions from the Education Committee?
I do have a couple, Amy. So Susan, I don't know if you want to answer it or Dr. White, but so for your program evaluation plan, you're using ASIN criteria for the measurements, and this is a PM program, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, are you planning on getting ASIN, or are you just using it as a quality metric?
No, that's one of our goals, is to be there. But we're also pulling in Kansas State Board of Nursing and, you know, want to blend it into there to make sure that we're meeting all the criteria.
Okay.
Dr. White, did you have anything on that?
Well, and we are also in the process of getting accredited by ASSET. So we're full steam ahead there as well. So being able to utilize some of those standards could be also helpful, even though we know this is a programmatic view. But when you start to look institutional wise as well, a lot of that measurable data that we're capturing is going to be also helpful for us as well to kind of look at it on the broad spectrum.
Okay, I'm sorry, Dr. White, who did you say you're seeking accreditation from?
From ASSET right now.
Patty, did you have another question or was that?
I did.
Okay.
I'm trying to discern it from the report. So IV therapy is not shown in the curriculum, but it's a separate course. So how do you do your clinical component for that?
Well, we had been given that course in the module 4, the last module, but we moved it up to 2 so we can, when they're out in the field, they will be able to take care of IVs, and we'll be able to check them off. But in the meantime, because there's not that many IVs out there in the long-term care facilities and so forth, we take care of it in the lab, and we have we follow KSBN, as far as the list of areas that we need to check off, and that's where we able to do it. They also have 2 exams, a midterm and a final. I don't know if that showed when they were out for the site visit, but there are a couple exams in it.
Okay, and so they're doing their live stick requirement in the field or in the lab?
They're doing it in the lab on each other, and because they do have to do it. But if they could do it out in the field, they're prepared because we passed them on their skill checkoff.
Okay, thank you. And then the test results. So are you using your own test or are you using the state test?
We've been using our own tests. I'm not sure if we know of the state test. I'll have to check with that because I'm pretty sure we're just using our own.
Okay. Thank you.
If it's required to have the state test, then we'll definitely put that in there.
No, it's not required, but there is a
Oh.
state test out there for independent IV therapy programs that
Oh,
just
well,
do IV therapy. So, but there is a state test. So I didn't know if you were using some of those questions or if you were using your own.
No, but now that I know that, I want to take a look at it. Thank you.
Any additional questions? If we're ready to move for a motion,
Madam Chair, I move to recommend approval by the board of the site visit report and the recommendations on that site visit report for the Mid-America College of Health Sciences PN program.
I'll
okay.
second.
Do we need to state any more than that, Janelle, or just use the recommendations that are on the site visit report?
I'm sorry, I thought I had done that too. I think it's fine. We've done that with others to just state it's by the recommendation, but just to be clear, we can state what the recommendations are.
Okay. Is the petition or the recommendation I have has an additional paragraph? Does yours, Patty?
Yes. So I moved to, I thought that was a second recommendation. That's
Oh,
why
I probably
didn't read
forgot
it.
I forgot to get rid of the first part and just make the
Okay.
second part.
I will continue my move. I
Okay.
move to
Okay.
recommend approval by the board of the Focus Site Visit Report with the recommendations for Mid-America College of Health Sciences PN program to continue on conditional approval with C-submission status and a review of first-time pass rates for the 25-26 cohort at the September 2026 KSBN board meeting.
Thank you.
Now I'll second.
Thank you, Angela. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes. Yes.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was the only report in our on-site packet and our last site visit. So we will move on to the major curriculum. Oh, no, we do have one more site visit. I'm sorry about that. We'll need to move over Dr. Gina Taylor, and I'm not sure who else is joining us from Donley.
Do we not have the Ottawa one first?
Ottawa first.
My apologies. I am trying to move this meeting right along. We
You
do have
are.
letter C on the agenda, the Ottawa report, and it's on pages 20 through 32 of our packet.
And Amy, you have me today. Dr. Samantha Young is teaching.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us, Ruth. Anything you would like to add?
I would like to clarify on the recommendation for an administrative assistant. That actually would help the entire department for the BSN side of things. And not just me, but it would be helpful. But thank you, Janelle, for recognizing that that would increase efficiency of the department.
Right. Ottawa has a lot going on, and the addition of the pre-licensure program, and with Ruth as director of all of those programs, does not have a full-time or even part-time assistant. And I just think it's one of the things we recognize is that some of the things that she's doing in with no spare time. So that was the reason for that recommendation. A lot of times we're seeing that as a very helpful, so that the director can then focus on the tasks that are maybe more priority for you as a director.
Right, and for the program director as well.
Right, absolutely.
Since we have those
for Dr. Young.
combination, yeah, we have those combination positions of, teaching and administrative. So I just wanted to clarify, it's not just for me, it would be for Dr. Young as well.
Right. For the nursing department, is I tried to write it broadly. So
thank you.
Yes, especially with the 50% teaching requirement in your position, Ruth. And how many total students do you have between all programs?
Right now we have about 700 of the MSN, and we're growing. That is a growing program with a hybrid capacity for weekend intensives. And then we have our RN to BSN. We tend to run in the 60 to 70 some range for that. And then our pre-licensure, I believe it's 34. I would have to add it up and see where we're at with all of our cohorts, but it would be in that range.
Yeah, that's a large number of students to not have an administrative assistant and to have 50% teaching responsibility.
Right.
That probably isn't a very sustainable model. Okay, any questions by the committee for Ruth? The recommendations are on page 34, and we had already talked with them about their NCLEX pass rates.
I enjoyed the visit very much. I was very impressed with all they're doing at Ottawa. So thank you for that, Ruth.
Thank you, Karen.
I move to recommend approval by the board of the follow-up after first graduation site visit report with recommendations for Ottawa BSN program, and approve the program for a time period consistent with national accreditation, 5 years for initial.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Patty. We have a motion and a second. All in, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Abstention?
That would be me. Thank you.
Ruth is abstaining. The motion carries. Thank you. Okay, now we will move to the Donnelly report, which starts on page 33 and goes through 78. And Colton, we will need a few people moved over. I assume Dr. Taylor and Janelle. Is anyone else from Donnelly joining us this morning?
I think it might be Gina and Laura, but I'm not for sure. So Gina could probably tell us for sure.
Okay. Once we get one of them. I can't
remember if their dean was going to also. I could go find my email, but
that's okay. We'll get Gina over, and then she can tell us if we need to move anyone else. Good morning, Dr. Taylor. And just to clarify, this report is rather lengthy. And if you start at the top, you'll see there's information presented throughout the report in black first, and that's from the 2/11/25 site visit. Then in red, that's from the 10/13 site visit. And then in a blue font is from the 5/11/26 most recent site visit. That's why as you go through it, we, as one of the members of the site visit committee, we decided it was best to just continue on that report. Good morning, Dr. Taylor. Is there anyone else we need to move over?
Yes, Miss Laura Simpson, please.
Okay, Laura Colton, if you can find her.
I have found a Laura. We'll see if this is the right one.
Okay, thank you. And this report goes pages 33 through 78.
Morning.
Good morning. Is Laura on?
Yes.
There she is.
Oh, she is on? I wasn't seeing her yet. Oh, there she is. Okay, now you popped up on my screen. Good morning, Laura. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thank you for joining us this morning. If there's anything you two would like to share about the most recent site visit or any updates since then.
I would just like to share that we appreciate all the support that we've had through this committee, our site visitors, and just all the education and support that Ms. Janelle has given us so that we can rectify and move forward. So we really appreciate you guys for supporting us and educating us continuously.
Thank you. So as you get to page 78, there's a few recommendations. We definitely have reviewed the recommendations and strengths of the program and opportunities. And as someone who's been on education for 6 years, I can say Donley has been on our agenda more of the meetings than less. So I was one of the site visitors along with Karen Kidder, who joined Janelle. And I would just like to say, I was pleasantly optimistic and happy from the time we walked in. The students, the staff, everyone there is supportive of making this program a strong, successful program. So seeing that support really, I'm an optimistic person anyways, but I really, after leaving, I was only able to say for the first day, I think that you are on a good trajectory. Your students and your staff are there for the right reasons, and they want to see the program improve and meet the requirements to eventually get off conditional approval. So I'm excited for you. And I think your leadership, Gina and Laura, wish it showed. We were all very, very positive throughout the site visit and heard great compliments. And I don't know, Karen or Janelle, if there's anything else you'd like to add.
This was my third visit to Donnelly, and I was in awe. You guys have done an amazing job.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Does the committee have any questions for Dr. Taylor or Laura?
Gina, do you know where your pass rates are up to this point from your December grads and possibly any May grads? Do you guys have those numbers yet?
Janelle sent a few, but they're not finished yet, Patty, because there were a few, but we can send those to you. Well, as soon as we get the updated ones. We still have a few that we know have taken, but there are more that haven't.
Okay. Janelle, do we have updated pass rates on them for so far?
We have first quarter rates, which would have been from December. And I'm sorry, I thought I put them in there.
I was looking, I couldn't find them.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So we're still, I believe that we were still kind of in the 60% range, which we aren't surprised that those were all students that were finishing up under the old, I should say, under the chaos, more of the chaos. They're the ones that have moved through all of that. So we knew that those rates might continue to be low. And I believe it was like one was at 58%, and that might have been the end of the RN group. I think there might have only been a couple of those, or were they all PN?
I think there were a combo of
Yeah,
both.
I think there are still a couple or a handful of the ADN, but I believe it were 58 and 62% is what I remember from first quarter, but that's not uncommon for first quarter. We don't have any of the grads from this last group who would have had the benefit of the less chaotic
Yeah.
spring semester. We're hopeful. I think that will help them in the long run. So I believe that's one of the reasons, as we were looking at it, that to do a check-in in terms of the committee or staff to do a spot site visit, just a day to make sure everything's still going smoothly, if they are approved for their recommendations. So.
Oh, and I apologize. I did find them. Them.
Okay.
They were on 68.
I-
Sorry. I'm
I thought
sorry.
it was in there, but you're right. The report is long, so
I'm sorry.
that is.
Okay. Did the committee have any additional questions?
May I just ask one more, Madam Chair?
Yes, of course, Janelle.
Dr. Taylor, I know we had talked quite a bit about did we talk more about the advisory? Oh no, that wasn't you. Sorry. Never
That's
mind.
okay. You had a busy spring with an
I
extra
have
site
had
visit.
a crazy spring, so
Yes.
yeah, never mind. Just scratch that one. We're good.
Because I did see you had your first advisory board meeting, right?
We did, yes.
Okay.
So again, having made that site visit, I was very, very impressed, and I would like to go ahead and move to recommend approval by the board of the site visit report with recommendations for Donnelly College PN and ADN programs, and approve for limited fall admission for PN students only, with the one-day check-in site visit in fall 26 and a focused follow-up site visit in spring 27 for further review and recommendations.
And the limited, I apologize, should have been 30. That was supposed to be in the recommendation.
For 30
PN
admissions for the
students.
PN, yes.
Yes.
And
Thank
those
you,
are,
Karen.
those are to be, because you have a day and night. So are those just to be used at whichever side they want them to go on,
Yes.
or both? Or,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
It can
The
be a
total-
combination, but a
Yes.
limit of 30 for the two cohorts.
Yes.
I second.
Thank you, Patty. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. All who approve, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Oppose? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
And as you
Laura.
see in the recommendation, there are additional recommendations as far as a site visit so that we can continue, as long as you're continuing the positive changes and outcomes, to add on after those site visits. And we'll just work on that as the committees meet and the board meets.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay. That does conclude our site visit reports, correct? Okay,
Yeah.
then we will move on to our major curriculum change requests. The first one coming from Barton Community College PN program on page 79.
And we should have Renee Skelton on to present that, Colton.
Okay, Renee, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I also have Christina Blanton on, one of our faculty. And if you want to bring her over.
We sure can. Colton will do that momentarily.
He's got her. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
This was a big ask to ask a faculty to get dressed during the summer and be on a meeting, but she was willing.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Chris.
Okay, if you would like to share a little bit about your major curriculum request.
Sure. So what we are asking is for our two non-clinical courses to be moved to an online format. Our gerontology class and our professional roles and issues for the practical nurse course. These are non-clinical. We get asked by our students all the time for can't we take anything online? They all want some more flexibility. They're all working. A lot of them are parents. And so last semester, we put these in an 8-week format so that they only had to focus on one at a time. That was well received. And so we've decided to move ahead with the online 8-week format so they only have to take one class, then when they finish that, they'll take the other. The course outcomes and competencies are not changing. The credit hours are not changing. It's just moving it to an online format. The faculty, and Chris can speak to this too, also went through the internal course design process that we have here at Barton to make sure that the course is rigorous, ADA compliant, all of that. So this is the next step. Chris, you want to add anything?
I just want to reiterate what Renee was saying about the students that we have in our program, that they come from different walks of life. We have traditional, we have non-traditional, and just meeting them where they're at with an online course. We get a lot of praise for that, and I 100% support listening to what the students have for their feedback and taking that into consideration in any changes that we make within our program.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Well, it's always nice to see student feedback and then the faculty and the administration working to see if that's the best option. So wonderful.
Hey, Madam Chair, I move to recommend approval by the board of the major curriculum change request for Barton Community College PN program to move NURS 1210 gerontological nursing and NURS 1265 professional roles and issues for the PN to an online format. If approved, change would be for the spring 2027 start.
Thank you, Patty.
I second that.
Thank you, Angela. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Abstentions. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Okay, our next one is from Salina. And I believe there's actually two motions, and we'll need Naomi Tatro Colton. And Janelle, was there anyone else besides Naomi joining us?
Not that I know of. Naomi is the only one that I heard from.
Okay. And as she's coming over, does the committee wish to do these as two separate motions or one motion?
I think we could do one.
Okay.
One for both of them?
Mhm.
Okay. And Naomi, good morning. How are you?
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us. You might have been joining this side as we were discussing. The committee is okay to make these motions together. So
Okay.
if you want to discuss both of the major
Sure.
curriculum changes for us.
Okay. So this is in our PN program here at Salina Tech, and we are looking at moving just some credit hours around. So our Nursing 100 Foundations is currently 4 credit hours, and the clinical component to that course is 2 credit hours. And that's in the fall class. And then the other change is the adult care. So for the first one, we want to move the clinical hours from 2 to 1, moving then that 1 credit hour back to the didactic classroom credit. So Nursing 100 Foundations would go from 4 to 5 credits. Nursing 101 Foundations Clinical would go from 2 to 1. And then the explanation for that is our adult care, which is also in fall, moving 1 clinical hour from that course. So that currently is at 135 hours, which is the 3 credit hours. Move it to 2, take that 1 credit hour, stick it into pharmacology. Part of our reasoning, the biggest part of our reasoning for moving these 2 credit hours, 1 out of Foundations, 1 out of Med-Surg, was clinical objectives were met. The fall semester is mostly at long-term care within our PN cohort, and we were meeting these objectives pretty early on. So I'm going into my 4th year, and so I didn't know if it was a fluke thing the first year, but we just kept noticing students were getting bored. Our learning opportunities were pretty limited. And so we kept expanding upon that and going to different clinical sites, but the objectives were still being met pretty early. What we were noticing is in the didactic foundations and in pharmacology, they were rather short and rushed filling, and this is students' feedback. So we thought giving them more time to work with the content and then still making sure they met all objectives clinically, lab-wise, all of that. And we'd like to make these changes for fall of 26 effective. In a nutshell, did I go too quick? I'm sorry.
No, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Did any committee members have questions for Naomi on either of the motion that we're going to combine?
No. Madam Chair, I move to recommend approval by the Board of Major Curriculum Change Requests for Salina Area Technical College PM program to move 1 credit hour from NUR 101 Foundations Clinical to NUR 100 Foundations of Nursing Didactics. Students are meeting the objectives of NUR 101 in 1 credit hour or 45 contact hours. Let me scroll down. And then I move to recommend approval by the Board of the Major Curriculum Change Request for Salina Area Technical College PN program to change NUR 113 Adult Care 1 Clinical from 3 credit hours to 2 credit hours and add 1 credit hour to NUR 104 Pharmacology. No change to overall credit hours.
Thank you, Angela.
I second.
Thank you, Karen. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Abstentions. The motion carries. Thank you, Naomi.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, our next motion or our next major curriculum, there's again 2, and these are coming from Ottawa. They start on page 97 and 100. And if the committee is in agreement, since they're both about just changing the format of the course delivery, do we want to consider them as one motion?
Yes.
Okay. So Ruth, is there anyone else joining us, or are you?
No, it will be,
presenting this?
Samantha Young is teaching.
Okay, if you want to tell us a little bit about
Yes.
the 2 changes.
This is part of the NCLEX success plan for the pathophysiology to go from online to on ground. We all know that's a foundational course to prepare students for adult health 1, 2, 3 and beyond. And then with the pharmacology, it really is because there's just so much information. As you know, last year we split apart pharmacology into an intro where they do dosage calc and things like that. And then it moves into the core of it. And so now we're taking both of those courses and moving them into an option for on ground. So we're doing the opposite of probably what a lot of schools are doing. With our small numbers, we really need to hit our NCLEX targets very, very precisely. And so this is part of that attempt to move that in a positive direction. So any questions?
I do not have any. Do any committee members have questions for Ruth?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I move to recommend approval by the board of the major curriculum change request from Ottawa University BSN program to offer NRS 32006 pathophysiology in an on-ground delivery format. And I also move to recommend approval by the board to accept the major curriculum change request from Ottawa University BSN program to have an option for NRS 32004 and NRS 32010 pharmacology to be presented in an on-ground delivery format.
Thank you, Patty.
This is Debbie. I'll second.
Thanks, Debbie. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Abstention?
That would be me, Ruth.
Thank you, Ruth. The motion carries. Thank you very much. Okay, next we have Fort Hays State University. Is Jenny on for this, Janelle? Okay. Colton, if you don't mind moving Jenny Manry over. And this starts on page 103.
And she might have someone else, but I can't
Okay.
remember for sure.
We can ask Jenny when she gets on.
Thank you.
Good morning, Jenny.
Hi, if you could pull Dr. Tanya Smith up as well. She is helping to present this.
Thank you.
Sure. Colton
I'm
will
sorry,
get her-
Tanya, I just couldn't remember.
That's okay. I know you've had a lot, so.
Dr. Smith, good morning.
So we are presenting today in regards to our requirement for the CNA. We had some stakeholders reach out. It was actually hospital stakeholders reach out, and they had done some research into how many universities required the CNA, which made us do some research, and I would say they were spot on with what they found. So based on that and kind of that demand, I'll let and I'm at a conference, I apologize. They just let out. I'm going to let Tanya talk about our request.
Yes, so in order to remove the CNA as a prerequisite for our admitted students, we needed to be able to teach those skills somewhere within our curriculum within our 60 hours. We had an archive course of nursing fundamentals that we used to include before we had the CNA as a requirement, and when we had the CNA as a requirement, we archived that course. We want to bring that back. But just make it a 1 credit hour hybrid course so that students have some online work, but then have 15 hours of lab instruction. And that credit will be completed within the first 4 weeks of the first semester of the student's curriculum so that they're ready to go to long-term care and ready to participate in clinical early. But as you know, in order to add a credit, we had to remove a credit somewhere. So faculty talked and they decided that in the last semester, we have a transition to practice class, which was at 3 credits. And because of the prep tests that have been decreased through Kaplan and other circumstances, the faculty member was not utilizing the full 3 credits every week, and so we took a credit from there. And then looking at our J1 courses, our first semester courses, they're already very heavy with coursework, and they frequently report to us that it's a lot in the first semester. So if we're adding another course, we decided it would be best to move a course to the second semester. So we're asking to move nursing professional development, which is a 2 credit course, to the J2 semester and have it delivered in a fully online format. This way, it still keeps the same amount of on-campus courses for the J2, and the topics in nursing professional development are appropriate for online delivery. And then finally, we just updated 104L. We updated the course outcome for the course objectives and outcomes to align combined with the essentials. A lot of moving pieces when you make one change.
Okay, thank you, Tanya. Does the committee have any questions?
Madam Chair, I move to recommend approval by the board of the major curriculum change request from Fort Hays State University BSN program to 1, remove the CNA as a prerequisite to the nursing program, 2, incorporate 104L Nursing Fundamentals Lab as a 1 credit hour hybrid lab course, 3, move NURS 313 Nursing Professional Development from the Junior 1 semester to the Junior 2 semester and change to an online delivery for the course. And 4, reduce the credits of NURS 413 Transition to Practice in the Senior 2 semester from 3 credits to 2 credits. The course objective, the course outcomes for NURS 104L Nursing's fundamentals have been revised to meet the 2021 AACN Essentials, Domains, and Concepts.
Thank you,
This is
Patty.
Ruth. This is Ruth, I second.
Thank you, Ruth. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Abstentions, motion carries. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, our next is Fort Hays State Tech Hays PN program. And Janelle, do you know who's joining us? Will that be Sherry?
Yes. Sherry
Okay.
Stone.
I do have a question on this. Should I abstain on this one or no?
It's all the same school. You have your, and we actually, I don't know. I thought about this.
All together?
It probably is one motion. It's one school, but you are 2 programs. So the motion will need to be made for both programs. But Amy, we could probably do those together because Fort Hays Tech, Beloit, their program is also having to make that change, and it's in there. It's just there's somebody in between. You could put those together if you choose because they're the same thing. So probably wouldn't hurt for you to abstain from your own, definitely, but since it's the same school.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we need to move someone else over, Janelle? If we want to
It's-
combine the.
It's just, it would
Beloit
be
and
Angela.
Hays? Okay.
It would be Angela.
Okay, then Angela, we'll just have you abstain if the committee is in agreement to make this as one motion for both campus sites. Okay. Wonderful. Sherry, good morning and thank you for joining us. If you want to tell us a little bit about your request.
Good morning. One of our requests was NUR 107 and NUR 108. Basic pharmacology is 107 and math calculations is 108. Both were 1 credit hour courses, and the faculty member that taught both classes felt that there was a lot of repeat and a disconnect between 107 basic pharmacology and math calculations. She felt like she was teaching information in 107, talking about potentially reconstituting medications as mentioned by the faculty member. And then later on that afternoon in 108, then she was actually showing them how to reconstitute medications. So she felt there was a little bit of gap in that pharmacology is important and medication safety at the bedside is very important. So they really need to understand those concepts, especially as LPNs. It's a newer concept. Even if they've been med aids, they still need to learn it from an LPN perspective. When they approached me, I said, that's pretty much a no-brainer. Let's do it. There were different objectives for both courses. And Autumn put together, you can see the tables, the curriculum tables, the difference between 107, 108. And then she went through and the old version versus the new, and then combined course description and the objectives, looking at the objectives, making sure we covered both sets of objectives, but not duplicating things because we're seeing some duplication as well. So that was one of the motions. We did go through our academic affairs committee, which was our first step to get this approved. They approved that before the end of the semester, probably in May. They had a emergency meeting or whatever, a planned meeting to do that. As you see in the stuff in the packet, they learn stuff, lecture, discussion. Autumn's very big on hands-on, making sure she has the stuff in the classroom. We've upgraded to our ATI complete package, which has the Engage series and a bunch of things that she'll make assignments out of, with FA Davis quizzes and assignments that she'll have for the students. And then skill-based competencies. So you can see kind of the different things in the syllabi. We did talk about the combination of the courses with the registrar, and NUR 107 and NUR 108 will need to be retired due to needing to keep things straight in our campus course catalog, so to speak. So we are going to rename that, if approved by you guys, NUR 103 as a new course, and have that. Hopefully the goal is to have that ready for fall of 2026. Any questions? And I just want to add a note. Like I said, I agreed with that because medications, I've been hearing from my students that have tested already, RN and LPN, NCLEX. There's a lot of pharmacology on there, that they're getting a lot of pharmacology. And we also know doing a lot of research on medication errors for some of our potential grant writing, and medication errors tend to be one of the top still in practice. So it just makes sense to work with them a little bit more and get them a little bit stronger in medications. Angela, you want to add anything to that?
Basically, the only thing I want to add is that the faculty, Sherry's faculty and my faculty, got together and agreed both to this change to move both courses to the one NUR 103 pharmacology course. So we were all in agreement with that.
It was important, since we do mirror our programs off of each other, that when we made this decision, the faculty had to be in agreement before it was presented to Angela and I. So.
Perfect. Thank you. Are there any questions from the committee members?
I move to recommend approval by the board of the major curriculum change request for Fort Hays Tech North Central Hays PN program and Fort Hays Tech North Central Beloit PN program to combine Nursing 107 Basic Pharmacology for 1 credit hour and Nursing 108 Math Calculations for 1 credit hour to NUR 103 Basic Pharmacology for 2 credit hours.
Okay.
This is Debbie. I'll second.
Thank you, Patty and Debbie. We have the motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. An abstention?
I abstain.
Angela. Okay, motion carries for both the Beloit and Hays campus. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we will move to the Berkeley College request.
And we're looking for Kim Hansen.
And this one begins on page 133. Did Kim join us?
I thought she was going to.
She's on the other side.
Yeah, I think Colton's getting her.
Okay.
Good morning.
There she is.
Yes. Good morning, Kim. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. I'm hoping that my internet will hold up, so I'll keep my video on as long as I can.
Okay. If you can just give us a brief overview of your request.
Sure. So I'm Kim Hansen. I'm the Dean for the School of Nursing at Berkeley College. I have 3 major curriculum requests for your consideration today. Would you like for me to go over them one at a time and answer questions, or present all 3 at the same time?
I believe we're gonna move forward with it as one motion. So I think you can discuss all 3 for us.
Sure. Okay, so the first one is to reduce the BSN plan of study from 133 credit hours to 121 credit hours. Just to provide some background, Berkeley College is a small private Christian institution located in South Central Kansas, and it serves the students throughout South Central and Southwest Kansas. The mission of both Berkeley College and the School of Nursing is to prepare students to serve as ministers within their profession. So currently, the nursing program is structured as a dual degree program. Students complete 133 credit hours to earn both a Bachelor of Science in Nursing and a Bachelor of Arts in Biblical Studies. While this model supports the institution's mission and the nursing mission, our credit hour requirement is significantly higher than the other BSN programs in the state of Kansas and across the United States. As a result, students are spending additional time completing their degree before entering the workforce, and it does affect our marketability. So in an effort to maintain both the college mission and the School of Nursing mission, and to improve program efficiency, the nursing faculty and biblical studies faculty collaborated to review the curriculum. And during this process, During this process, it was determined that we could decrease biblical study hours from 30 to 18. With this change, students will, instead of getting a Bachelor of Arts in Biblical Studies, they will get a minor in Biblical Studies. Both the Berkeley College faculty and the nursing faculty believe that this still prepares them to be ministers in the nursing profession, which is the mission of both the college and the nursing program. It's important to note that there will be no reduction in nursing credit hours. Clinical hours, laboratory hours, or clinical experiences will remain the same. These changes only affect the biblical hours. However, to accommodate for this change, we did need to resequence our nursing courses because we are going from an 10-semester plan to an 8-semester plan. So we have a consultant who has helped myself and faculty go through in sequence to the 8-semester plan, ensuring that we follow our organizing framework from a simple to complex framework, and adequately preparing our students for practice. So in the packet, you can see the table that has the old sequencing and the proposed sequencing. Semesters 1 through 4 are going to reflect the biblical studies coursework, and then nursing courses begin on semester 5. Again, there's no changes in contact hours, credit hours, objectives, anything. It's just course sequencing. The second request is course delivery change. So we're requesting to change the delivery method for 5 of our upper level non-clinical nursing courses from a traditional face-to-face method to a hybrid method. This will include real-time instruction through synchronous learning activities, as well as additional coursework through asynchronous online learning activities. So the request is being made at the challenge for us to recruit qualified and appropriate credentialed faculty within our area. We are in a very rural area. The closest BSN program to us is 85 miles east of us. So we serve a large region, however, we are in a rural setting. Students will continue to benefit from real-time instruction. So it will be synchronous lectures with asynchronous learning activities. We believe the change will ensure continued access to high quality education while maintaining faculty engagement and supporting our student success. The last request, the third request, is to revise the BSN program's end of program student learning outcomes. The purpose of this request is to place greater emphasis on the measurability of our student learning outcomes, and to revise the outcomes to provide clearer expectations for the students. This revision was identified through the feedback from our accrediting consultant when she was reviewing the curriculum and assessment processes, and she was recently hired on as our associate dean. So thank you for listening to the proposal, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate the summary. Any questions from the committee?
Madam Chair, I move to recommend approval by the Board of Major Curriculum Change Request for Berkeley College BSN program to revise the degree plan for the BSN nursing program by removing the requirement for completion of a BA in Biblical Studies as a requirement of graduation, streamline program from 10 to 8 semesters, and sequencing changes to ensure simple to complex framework credit hours for the degree increase from 133 to 121 with no change to the core nursing program, which means a 60 credit hours. Change the mode of delivery for 5 nursing courses to hybrid modality for NUR 423, 325, 321, 403, and 425, and end of program student learning outcomes updated to align with the ACN 2021 essentials.
Thank you, Angela.
I second.
Thank you, Patty. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Abstentions, motion carries. Kim, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay. And I believe next is HWSU Tech ADN program. And Janelle, do you know who's joining us for this?
It should be Flora again.
Okay. And
Was
this,
that Diaz?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This is on page 150.
Hello, and I also have Deshawn Willingham with me.
I
Okay.
wasn't sure, so good deal.
Thank you, Janelle.
Flora, thanks for joining us again, and we'll wait on Deshawn to join us. Good morning, Deshawn. Thanks for joining.
Morning.
Okay, if you would like to share a little bit about your request.
Yes, so good morning again, and thank you for the opportunity to present. So again, my name is Flora Diaz. I serve as the Assistant Dean of Nursing here at the WSU Tech Nursing ADN and PM program. And Deshawn Willingham is Dean of Nursing for our programs and also LMHT. So today I'm presenting a curriculum structure change is what our request is for our associate degree nursing program. So WSU Tech, the college as a whole, is currently transitioning to a new college-wide software system. And as part of that process, we have been reviewing and streamlining program operations across institutions or our institution. And during that review, we did identify an opportunity to better define our faculty and adjunct workload responsibilities and also improve course management within the ADN program. So our request is to simply separate the didactic and clinical components of the ADN courses with clinical experiences into distinct course numbers. So this is just strictly an organizational change. There are no changes to the course outcomes, to the program outcomes, to clinical hours, or to the total program credit hours. And we are also requesting within the same change changing 80 and 120 and 80 and 150 to allow these courses to be fully online so changing them from hybrid to fully online. And we are completely confident that the course objectives can still be met. It just provides additional flexibility and accessibility for our students. But overall, both of these changes will improve program organization, scheduling, workload management, and clarity for both faculty and students while still maintaining everything else the same: curriculum, clinical hours, and all that.
Excellent. Thank you for the summary.
Thank you.
Any questions for Flora?
I move to recommend approval by the board to accept the major curriculum change request from WSU Tech ADN program to separate the didactic and clinical components of all ADN courses that have a clinical component while maintaining all credit hours in current curriculum, and change modality for ADN 120 and ADN 150 to allow both courses to be taught as fully online courses. No change to credit hours or outcomes.
Thank you, Patty.
This is Debbie. I'll second.
Thanks, Debbie. All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Abstentions, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and I believe we have made it through our agenda. Wow, this is probably a record for the Education Committee. I just wanted to take a minute, as this is my last time to chair the Education Committee. I want to thank the committee members, because if you've served on any committee for the Board of Nursing, you're well aware that the Education Committee is a very time-intensive committee. It also requires travel to make site visits. And we usually have an agenda that can be anywhere from 500 to 1,200 pages. So there's a lot of material, and I can say it's a committee that takes the time to review each of those. And I also want to thank Janelle for helping keep us organized, efficient. If something is missing or there's a page off, she catches it, and we make it through our committee meetings. But this is not a committee you sign up for that you join once a month or once a quarter and then log off or make a quick trip to Topeka. It is a very time-intensive committee. So I want to thank everyone who has dedicated time to this committee ever, especially in the last 6 years that I've been involved with the Education Committee. For those who had major curriculum changes or site visit reports, I just want to make sure you're aware. I know Janelle has sent things out. We are making recommendations as a committee, but they are not going to be approved until the board approves them. So you cannot move forward with any of the recommendations we approved today. And I don't know the date that the board will meet in July. Adrian or Janelle, if you have any insight, please share.
I would let Adrian take that one.
We are continuing to work on some timelines to see when we can get all of that organized. I'm working with the governor's office right now, in fact, to see who's going to be appointed and how often and how soon. So that's actually one of the big asks I have had of them. So, but on behalf of the Board of Nursing, thank you, Amy, for your service to the board. You've been a great leader for not only for the Education Committee, but also on the board. So I do want to take this time and say that we really appreciated your service and dedication. And you are correct. This is a working board. And so the next members who join will see that probably pretty quickly. But thank you for your service. We do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
It has been my pleasure to work with the staff and the committee members and the various committee members who I've become close friends with over the years. We do spend a lot of time together and discussing, and we very much follow the mission of the Board of Nursing. And I feel like we do that for our educational partners, our future nurses, and the nurses who are practicing. But yes, as Adrian mentioned, we are waiting the new board appointment that will be an interim board that will be appointed by the governor. So sometime in July, hopefully they will be trained and then get to hold a a board meeting. There was a little, we thought the Special Ops Committee might be able to make board approvals, but that is not the case. So we need to wait until that new board is present. And I know some of the things we approved as recommendations today do affect our educational partners for this fall. So we apologize that can't be approved today or tomorrow like we would normally do. So please stay in touch with Janelle. She will be your point of contact once the new board is formed and able to approve things. So it's a little different format than we've done in the past, but there's a lot of changes happening. I also want to take a second to thank the board staff. As someone who's a director of a program who works with students getting through NCLEX and licensed in multiple states, I can tell you the Kansas process is one of the smoothest. And the fact that we can get students through testing before transcripts, we have a record number who are already through testing. And so Rayanne and Karen, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know in March, many of the leaders of the different divisions said there could be some delays just with all the changes coming and implementation of House Bill 2528. And I can tell you, licensing has not slowed down. If anything, they are moving quicker than ever. Out of the 91 students I have who graduated, just those in Kansas alone, 29 have already tested and passed. So a little shout out, but I can also tell you they already have approved 16 more. We'll have 45 through testing in record time, all who are Kansas. And I won't name the state, but there is a southeast state that received transcripts from one of my students on May 18th, and he still has not been approved to take NCLEX. And they told him after a 2-hour phone call hold the first time and an hour the second time that they are still processing April testers. And it might be the end of this week or next week. I'm like, I think you could get residency in Kansas quicker and test than waiting on this southeast state that I won't name. But I just want to say the staff at the Board of Nursing is one of the best. And while there's been scrutiny over the last year, I will stand behind you for what you've done and what you continue to do for our state and for the nurses here. And it has been my absolute pleasure to serve on the board and to serve on this education committee with others who have been so dedicated to our state. So with that, unless there's other committee announcements, I will move to adjourn. Hearing
Thank
no
you for
others.
everything, Amy.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you
you,
for
Karen.
everything, Amy.
Thank you,
Thank
Amy,
you.
for
You're
everything.
welcome. You're welcome. It has been my pleasure. So everyone enjoy the rest of their day. I'm giving you back at least an hour and a half compared to our normal meeting. So enjoy the time and I look forward to seeing you and I hope our paths continue to cross.
Thank you, Amy.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.